Hi, friends. Dr. Nancy Trimbley here, putting the power and knowledge of your health back in your hands. And as always, I am encouraging you to take back your power for your own health with knowledge. So today, we are going to talk about a definition of terms effective and vaccine. I'm getting some of this information from a YouTube channel called MedCram. And it's designed for doctors and physicians that have a really good basis of immunology and virology and human biology. And it's delving deeper into that with PhDs and researchers. So it might be too much for you, but feel free to check it out. I'm really enjoying their different videos. So now, let's talk about the word vaccine. If you've read my book, Stealth Health, you know that I encourage my readers to investigate their own health issue and become their own best expert. And one of the first things I teach you how to do is to take apart your diagnosis that you may have been given, break down the words into their Latin meanings so you can understand what it means, because sometimes you break down the word or the phrase of your diagnosis and you realize they're just describing what I was complaining about. So one of the simplest examples I can give you is gastritis. So you go to the hospital, you have terrible stomach pain, they run all of these tests, and they say, you have gastritis, here's a Tums, go home. And you think, oh my goodness, I have gastritis. Is it fatal? Am I going to have it forever? When you look it up, it literally means gast, meaning stomach, itis, meaning pain. Gastritis, stomach hurts. Well, that doesn't tell you anything. So let's look at the word vaccine. If you look up the Latin root, it's kind of entertaining because vaxa or vaca is means of or pertaining to cows. Vaca means of or pertaining to cows. What's the deal? So, if you delve a little deeper, you find out that the very first vaccine was given to people with smallpox, and this was around the year 1800. It was a Dr. Jenner. And he was thinking about it, and he realized that cows had a similar disease, although very mild, called cowpox. And smallpox and cowpox is very similar to chickenpox, where you get these welts on your skin and they burst open, and that's where the virus is. So he went to cows and took some of that virus, some of the goo and the ooze that was coming out of a burst blister, and he gave it to people with smallpox, and they were able to recover. And I think he also gave it to people to prevent smallpox. That's where we get the word. The very first vaccine was vaca, from cows, meaning from cows. And that's how that's how vaccines have been formulated through the years, through the whole 1800s, through the 1900s. And you and I probably got the measles shot when we were kids. Your kids may have gotten the chickenpox vaccine, which I've got another video about that you might want to watch. But anyway, what we do is we take the germ that creates the disease and we kill it or smash it or weaken it or heat it up until it's really not viable anymore. And then that's what we inject into people so that it stimulates a response by your body by not giving you the disease itself, by just stimulating a response by your body. And then your immune system has a memory, just like your brain has a memory. That's a vaccine. What we have today with from Pfizer and from Moderna and from Johnson and Johnson is not that. It is not what we've traditionally known to be as vaccines. I want to call it something new, and I hope you'll help me to start this trend. Let's call it a reformat. Kind of like you have a computer and you need to change how it's operating, and so you reformat it. That's kind of what those vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are doing is they're telling our body through a messenger. A messenger is put into our body. We are shot with something that gets into our cells and it tells our cells to make something. That's what our immune system then attacks. We make what our immune system will attack. So it sounds a little crazy. It is a reformat. It's telling our body to do something that it's not really intended to do. So, and let's be clear, it is experimental. This has not stood the test of time with thousands of people over years of research. Now, yeah, they've been working on these types of vaccines. I know I got to use that word. I'm going to change how I'm using it. They've been working on these types of reformats for decades, but not with much success yet. So it is still experimental. So if you sign up to get it, just keep that in mind. It's an experimental reformat. So I hope you found that interesting. Please help me to pass the word about what vaccine really means. And this is not that. This is a reformat. Let's talk about the other word, effective. We've all heard late in 2019, early 2020, that some small test studies had been done with a few thousand people for a very short time. And those studies were found to be effective. What does that mean? From this MedCram YouTube video that I watched, was titled Coronavirus Update, and I believe it was early February that it was published. Um, Effective means that the reformat prevented severe COVID symptoms that led to hospitalization and death. It did not stop the transmission of the virus. It did not stop mild or moderate symptoms that could be nursed at home. It prevented hospitalization and severe symptoms and death. As per the researcher interviewed, he said, and I quote, "No, we do not know if this reformat," that's my word, not his, "if this reformat will stop the spread of the disease." So it is not a magic bullet. It is not proven to be effective in what I would think effective would mean. Effective to me would mean, okay, we're going to eradicate it. It's going to be gone. That's not what their version of the word effective means. So, as usual, you become knowledgeable, you start digging just a little bit beyond the surface, and you'll find out what the real meaning is behind terms that are being thrown around. Terms that we think we know the meaning to, but in reality, it could be something different. So, pick up the torch for the reformat, the experimental reformat. And if you choose to do it, I support you in your choice because that's your right. That's your right for your own over your own body and your own health. So I support you. But as always, I'm inviting you to put the knowledge and power of your health back in your hands. Bye for now.